guys, welcome back to another episode of Eat With Us.
I'm Amber Fisher.
And I'm Gabriela Rivera.
We are two nutritionists here in San Antonio, Texas, showing you how to eat healthy off the menu at your favorite local restaurants.
We are so excited today because we are visiting
Brickyard BBQ.
So, are you hungry?
I'm hungry.
Let's go!
Hi, I'm Amber Fisher.
And I'm Gabby Rivera.
And we're best friend nutritionists in San Antonio, Texas.
On Eat With Us, we show you what we actually eat at restaurants and how we make healthy eating part of our everyday lifestyle.
Alright guys, here is what we decided to order at Brickyard BBQ. Gabby, what did you get?
Okay, so we decided to actually share what we were having, and we decided to do a la carte. So we ordered brisket, extra lean, extra thin by the pound. So we did about half of a pound or so, and then we did half of a whole chicken. We also did salad without cheese, and we did a potato, but asked for all the toppings on the side so we can have control of how much we put into the potato. Let's see, they put everything on the side for us. Cheese, cream, butter.
We decided as we were preparing for this episode and looking at the menu, there are a lot of good choices there, and we're going to go into some of the better choices to eat there. But we decided that we wanted to share this time just because we think sometimes it's a misconception that you have to get your own meal. Sometimes if you combine meals and you combine different pieces of meals, you can actually make a really good, healthy, balanced meal together.
Yeah.
What we ordered is lean brisket, extra lean, extra thin, right? And it's a little tougher. So in order to make it more yummy, get it extra thin. We got barbecue chicken, and then we got a baked potato, but we got all the toppings on the side. So yeah, and then a salad. And here's the trick, especially if you're going to a barbecue place where they serve a lot, share. Yes, so we got stuff by the pound and we're sharing everything. That way we can pick and choose what we want, and you'll see us serve whatever we want and then stop when we want. So yep, exactly. You know, it can be tricky at barbecue places to eat with the sides. So a lot of times the sides are not the healthiest thing on the menu, right? And so when you're on a healthy plan and you have to come in to eat barbecue, you do have to order a la carte and put it together. So what we did to make sure that we got some greens is we ordered salad to put with everything.
Yeah, so the big thing that we were concerned about today is we were thinking about all of you guys starting your New Year's resolutions, and many of you are probably starting low carb or ketogenic diets. And so we really wanted to give you a healthy idea of what that looks like when eating at a barbecue restaurant.
So one thing that we really wanted to think about during this particular visit is the fact that New Year's is coming up, and a lot of people go on low carb diets at the beginning of the new year. So we kind of have some pet peeves about that sometimes. You know, barbecue is a really good place to go if you're on a low carb diet. But the temptation would be to get everything marbled because you're thinking you're low carb, so I can go really, really high fat. And that just doesn't always work for everybody. So I've actually found that to get in the way of weight loss with a lot of my clients, particularly women.
So one of the first tips that we wanted to give you guys is to kind of make sure to balance out your fats. Fats add up very quickly, and a lot of people don't realize that. And even though you're at a barbecue place and you might be having something like brisket, you can always ask for extra lean just because brisket is already a higher fat protein source.
Fats are interesting because when we talk about a low carb or ketogenic diet, we usually tend to think that fats don't matter or that it's not going to be a problem for us, especially with weight loss, because we're cutting back on carbs so much. But the facts don't lie, and I've seen this many times in practice, that if you're not balancing your caloric intake along with your macronutrient intake, you're still going to struggle with weight loss and you're still going to struggle with weight maintenance. So one thing that I think is really important when talking about fat is to remember that at restaurants, they do use conventionally raised protein, which is not a problem in and of itself. But when you're eating particularly fatty cuts of meat, such as marbled brisket, you're getting a lot of the toxic material that's stored in the body of the animal through the fat. And so you're automatically getting this sort of inflammatory state and potentially also raising other issues like cholesterol.
So Gabby,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on people going keto for the new year?
Don't believe everything you say. One size does not fit all. Make sure you do your research, hire somebody. It doesn't have to be us. Just make sure you're educated. Might work for you, might not.
Here's the thing. I work with some people where therapeutically a ketogenic diet can be super beneficial. And I know many of my clients have been on ketogenic diets in the past. It tends to work pretty well for men in general. My issue with it comes when we villainize nutrients that we would get from vegetables and fruit, particularly fruit. Like most people on keto will admit that maybe they should still eat some vegetables, but they start talking about fruit like it's evil or something. It's not evil, and it's not going to throw a wrench in your weight loss plans if you eat a little bit of fruit. So
another thing that we talked a lot about was with low carb diets and fiber intake. So we talked a lot about cholesterol and the way that animal proteins and potentially high fat diets can sort of increase your cholesterol. There are a lot of misconceptions about how that happens, and we don't fully know how that happens biologically yet. But what we can tell you is that in our experience, if clients are not taking care of their digestive health while doing a low carb diet and they're not having regular bowel movements, it is going to result eventually in some high cholesterol problems. So it's really super important to make sure that you don't cut vegetables and fiber at the expense of other things just because you're trying to be low carb.
your body has to go through multiple detoxification processes, particularly when it's losing weight. If your digestion is not on point, if you are not here we are at lunch talking about bowel movements, but if you are not having a bowel movement every day, something is wrong, guys. And so if you're on a low carb diet, I find that this is like the big Achilles heel of low carb diets. People will prioritize the protein, they'll prioritize the fat, but they won't prioritize the vegetables. If you are eating carbs on your low carb diet, as you have to, you eat some carbs every day, right? Make sure you prioritize carbs that have a lot of fiber. So things like salad.
I think one of the biggest mistakes, especially when someone wants to go low carb or keto, is that they completely forget about vegetables and fruit. And you need to make sure that you still incorporate that, because if you tend to go just for protein, animal protein or protein shakes, that type of thing, your digestive system is really going to take a massive hit.
That's not to say that low carb diets are bad or unhealthy. They can have a lot of health benefits. Balancing insulin, they can be very, very effective for weight loss if done properly. But one thing that I see people often do in places like this is because, hey, you know, I'm on keto or I'm on low carb, and so they think, okay, I'm gonna go to a barbecue place, I'm gonna get like all this marbled meat, I'm just gonna eat the meat. nothing else. And then they go about their day. The thing is, if you're not getting that nutrient density, your body will go into this mode where weight loss becomes more and more difficult because you don't have the nutrients that you need to really do that full detoxification process. So in the short term, it may work for weight loss and it may be beneficial for that. And I do often work in a lower carbohydrate paradigm, but it's always just really, really important to remember balance with everything, moderation with everything, and eating some spinach is not going to throw you out of ketosis.
Some other things that were really good options on the menu were the barbecue chicken. There were a couple of loaded salads, which would have been really good choices. And there was also some family meals.
Yeah.
And they mentioned a sausage that's part pork, part beef. So it's a leaner sausage, which is also a really good option. One of the things that we really loved about Brickyard is that it's a team of brothers and sisters who are running it. And they actually run the bar next door called the Urban Yard, which we also visited and you'll see in another episode. We just felt like they had a really good energy. They were really sweet.
Super nice. If you go there, they will take care of you. But also, I really love that they have history behind the building and how they structured it. So we'll insert some clips here where you'll see that one of the owners talking about how the place was built and where they got their materials from, which we thought was really cool.
A little bit about our establishment. We're originally from Chicago, and the back brick wall that you see here is the original brick from the 1871 Great Chicago Fire. And all the woodwork that you see in here is reclaimed wood from churches and barns that were being torn out all throughout South Texas.
You can feel the sense of family love and togetherness there. And I think it's just so important. And one of the things that we really, really want to hit home with this show is that it's so important to support local. It's so important to support local owners. And even during January and all of the New Year's resolutions, it's totally possible to eat at your favorite places as long as you just ask for what you want. And I know that at Brickyard, they will take care of you. Yes.
All right, guys, we hope that you enjoyed this episode of Eat With Us. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, eatwithus_SATX.
And definitely check us out on YouTube as well, Eat With Us SATX on YouTube. And don't forget to both follow Brickyard BBQ and also go visit them in person. It's a great place. I know you'll have a good time when you're there. And support local.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
This is going on.
What are your thoughts on people going keto for the New Year? I don't know if my face just answered that question, but
You've never had fried onion. They're the best I've ever had.
and there's a tip for all you people, for everybody on a healthy diet.
Why we come here.
Yes.
Because of him. They are very good friends to us, so they're super people.